Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Jones Show, and welcome to another episode of the Art of Cursive Writing course. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day wherever you are in the world. Today, we're going to be looking at different papers to do cursive writing on. So I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of different textures and different types of paper to do practice cursive writing on. But first we're going to share this with our friends so that they can come and hang out with us too. At this time I would encourage you to share this with your friends so that they can also come and hang out with us too. We are going to mute this. Share this out to social media. Oops. Forgot to copy something. Copy. Okay, well hopefully we're all shared out to our friends. Hopefully some of them will come and hang out with us. At least for a little while. So, what are we talking about when we're thinking about papers? We're thinking about different ways to use cursive writing on different types of paper. So for instance, this top sheet here, this is CVS caliber filler paper. This is wide ruled, I believe. Yes, this is wide roll. Okay, so here is the wide roll, and then here is the college roll, and you can see that they're different sizes of writing, and depending on how big you write, or what you're writing, where you're writing, will depend on how big your letters are. So this is a Rhodia dot pad. It's got 5mm lines, so I usually spit it 5 spaces across, either 5 or 6 spaces across, depending on how big I want my letters. And then there is the copper plate graph pad from johnneilbooks.com, and I have made them super big. So here you'll see that the is almost 10mm lines. Whoa, I didn't even look at that before. Let's see. And no, these aren't quite 5mm. This is inch ruling. No, inches. So we have each of these blue lines is 1 inch apart. So there's 8 spaces. No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 spaces in between each line. So this is 1/8 of an inch. 1/8, 1/4, 1/2. 3/8, 4. Anyway, they're 1/8 of a line, 1/8 of an inch. And then we have, this is practice paper. This, so it really just depends on like what kind of paper you want to use. This, for example, is Asperia Fabriano paper, and it has a very strange ruling, which makes them have very small letters. Let me see, what is the ruling on this? This is probably 4 millimeters. 4, 8, 12, 15. Yeah, this has a 4 millimeter ruling. So, and like it's just very strange. So we're gonna look at all of these, and then this is one of my favorites. This is definitely for cursive writing. This is a Maromon. Maromon Spiral Notebook is functional, trustworthy notebook. English 13th Spiral Notebook. So it has these lines. There's like a red line and like a couple of darker lines around it. So I like this red line because that shows me where the X height is. But you can also use that red line as the baseline and then use the underneath as a descender. So let's start with something simple. We're going to start off with CBS Caliber filler paper. This is wide rule filler paper. Right? Yes, this is wide ruled filler paper. And I try and tell people, go big. And then as you learn, get smaller and smaller and smaller. That way you will have a better understanding of how the letters are formed. I'm going to use a very large pencil for today's. So I am going to mark off two spaces, and that will be our X height. So this is a very large letter. And then if we do one space down from that, and then we do one space down from that, one space down from that, and you can see that we can have different sizes of capital letters. I'm going to mark down 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to mark off the X height here. And I'm going to go B all the way up, down, baseline. Okay. And then one down, B, in the middle, one down, and then one down. So you can definitely get a really good range of seeing how big that you want to write. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's drop down, mark off an X height. C, I'm going to start down, up, around, up, down, up, around, up, down, up, around. Okay. Let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. D, we're going to go straight down, hop, up, around, and out. Down, back, hop, up, and out. Down, hop, up, and out. Down, hop, up, and out. This is really great practice. Drop 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark off X height. E, so we're going to start right here. Going to go down, up, around, and in, and then out, down, around, So we're almost coming to that middle X height. And then E, and then E, and E. Okay. Alright, let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. The F, we're going to come from the baseline all the way up to the second ascender, back down to the baseline, swoop under, and we're going to go up to about the halfway point, and then out, and then down. And then right at this first ascender, we're going to swoop out. Okay, so up, down, swoop out, down, over and out. Up, down, over, down, swoop, and then up, down, swoop out, tick, and out. Okay, flip it over. Drop 4 down, mark off an X height. G, we're going to start at the baseline. We're going to come all the way up to the second ascender, down, up, all the way down to the baseline, swoop out, and then in to that quarter height. So, shrinking it down, up, down, down, and in. Up, down, down, and in. Up, down, and in. Up, down, and in. Let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. The H is pretty easy. It's just an overturn. And then a straight down. And then we're going to do a loop and through right around this X height. Loop and through. Okay, so up, down, down, loop and through. Up, down, down, loop and through. Up, down, down, loop and through. And as you see, the bigger they are, the slower you can go. But the smaller that you are, the faster you have to go. Okay, I'm just going to sharpen my pencil really quick. Okay. Let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. The I, so we're going to start at this middle line. We're going to do like a swoop down. We're going to go down to the baseline, all the way up to the second ascender, back down to the baseline, and then out. So, swoop, down, up, down, and out. Swoop, up, down, and out. Swoop, up, down, and out. Okay. So the J takes up 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. J starts at this baseline, swoops up, curve down through that X height, baseline, second descender, back up and out. Hi Plain Water, how are you doing today? Love clutch pencils, lead holders, never thought to practice my cursor with them. Yeah, so this is just really big. I find that it helps to learn them really big, so in case you want to use your whole arm movement to get them going. We'll talk about whole arm movement another day. So this is just practice. So when we go to the next one down, we're gonna go to about there when we go down. So come up to the second one, down and out. And when we go to the third one, we're only going to go to there. So up, down, up. Oh, I just realized I didn't do the full big one. So we're going to go up, down, and out. So you want to try and go as many up as you do down. So it's very difficult to do a very large J. So if you have three lines above, 1, 2, 3 lines above, you're going to have at least 3 spaces below. 1, 2, 3 spaces below. Okay. All right, let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. Let's do K, J, K. So we're going to do up, over, we're going to make a leg. And then we're going to hop over a space. We're going to go all the way up to the ascender. Come down, the little loop, and down to the baseline and out. All right, then we're going to come down one. We're going to go right into the middle and out. And then up, down, right to the middle and out. Up, down, right to the middle and out. Okay. Now that we have a good idea of what it looks like with a wide rule, we're going to work on, if I can find it somewhere. I had one, I swear I did. We're going to work on some college rule. So this is college rule paper. And it has a smaller grid size. So this, what I'm doing is called miniaturization. I'm taking really big letters and I'm making them smaller and smaller and smaller. So that way, when I get a feel of how that they should be, I can do them at any size. You can do a whole letter on a page. We'll talk about that another day. So let's do a different type of paper. Let's just draw an X height, which is 4 spaces tall. What letter were we on? L. So L is going to look really different from these letters because it's going to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to start from this first ascender. We're going to go up to the second ascender, down to the baseline. So we're going to start here. We're going to go all the way up, loop all the way down, loop, and out. Now you can do it from the X height, but just do it however it looks comfortable. Let's make it one tick smaller. So and then another one smaller, and then another one smaller. And as you get smaller and smaller, you will see that the spaces become very difficult to manage with the loops. So it's always good to have a really nice, good, sharp object. Either that, or you can use a ballpoint pen. Or if you have a round fountain pen, or even a mechanical pencil. You don't have to do it with a giant chunk like I do. I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys to see. Okay, so let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. M starts at this first ascender, going all the way up to the second ascender, down to the baseline, and we're not going to lift. We're not going to lift. We're going to go all the way up, make a little hump, come all the way back down. Then we're not going to lift. We're going to go all the way back up, come all the way back down with a little underturn right there at the end. So we're basically doing 2 humps and a compound curve. Okay, so now we're going to do it smaller. We're going to do it 1 tick smaller, so we're going to come up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you're going to notice that there's a little V here that leads almost to the X height. So as soon as you come down, and you want to come right up away from that point right at the X height. Come back down, come right back up, and it lead away from that X height. Okay? And compound curve. All right, let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do the N. The N is kind of like an M, but only with 1 hump. So we're going to start at this first ascender, up to the second, down to the baseline. We're not going to lift. We're going to come up away from that, right at the X height, into a compound curve. So, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. Let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. Any questions? Let me know. The oval, the O starts with an oval, so an oval is not a circle. Where is my scratch paper? Pay no attention to the happy birthday message. So when this is a circle because it is the same distance either way we go. Okay? So when we make an oval, we want it to be twice the height of its width. So if we keep this width, we're going to go up, over, around, down, like this. So it'll almost be twice the size of its width. So in order to make this in this space, we're going to have to shrink it. Okay? We're only going to be able to use one of these squares instead of both of them. Okay? So you want to make sure that you kind of give yourself a little room to move, but we're going to start at the very top. When we do the calligraphy oval, we start usually on the side or on horizontal, but we're starting at the way top. We're going to come swooping curve down to the baseline, all the way back up, and right about here we're going to loop out, just like that. So we just want it to touch this part right before we angle down into that loop. Okay? All the way up, loop out. Down, up, loop out. Down, up, loop out. And take your time doing these. Because the shorter that you get, the more round it looks. So you want it to look very oval-like and not get too squatty and round-like. Okay? Let's drop 4 down, mark off an X height. The P starts at the X height. It comes all the way up, all the way straight down. We're not going to lift. We're going to come up. We're going to come away from that stem around in a circle, and we're going to lift. So there is our P. The other way to do a P is to start at the first ascender, down to the baseline, up to the second ascender, loop, and into the stem. I prefer this one, so do whatever makes you comfortable. Down, up, around, and in, up, down, up, around, and in, up, down, up, around, and in. All right, questions, comments, concerns? Let's drop down to 4 spaces. Q starts at the first ascender, goes all the way up, comes down like a reverse oval, all the way down to the baseline, a little farther than this, the starting, and then we're gonna hop out, and we're gonna go just underneath that baseline. Okay, it's gonna look like a giant 2. The other way to do this is to start at the baseline, go all the way up, just like we're making a reverse oval, down to the baseline, and then we're gonna loop out. So if you turn this upside down, it would kind of look like a reverse oval, or an upside down O. Okay, so okay. Oops, made that a little too far below the baseline. You don't want to go too far below the baseline with that little loop there. Just enough to let people know that it's a Q and not a number 2. Okay, so let's drop 4 down, mark off the next height. The R starts off with like a P. We're going to start off, go up to the second ascender, straight down to the baseline, up, we're going to make a P, and then we're going to go right down and underturn into whatever letter we're going into. Some letters are connectable, some are not. We will go into that later. So, up, down, up, come away from that stem, into the stem, down, and out. Up, down, up, stem, down, out. Up, down, loop, stem, down, out. Okay, and then the last bit we're going to do for X height We're going to start at the baseline. We're going to come all the way. We're going to come kind of more slanty than the normal angle, because this is about your normal angle. So we're going to come in way sharper than that, okay? You're going to make a loop, come straight down that guideline, swoop out to the X height, and then swoop down into the belly of that S. Okay, so I'm going to come up, loop, swoop, cross. Up, loop, swoop, cross. Up, loop, swoop, cross. Okie dokie. Usually from here you can go into another letter. We'll talk about connections a little bit later. Okay, so now we've done a whole one of the larger, and you can already see that we're starting to miniaturize. Not a lot, but a little bit. If we look at these M's and these H's, let me see. There, now they're on the baseline. So you can see it's just a little bit smaller than if it were to be the wide rule. Okay. Let's move to some copperplate graph pad from johnneilbooks.com. I've already done some examples, but I want to show you how I do it. I'm gonna use a click marker so you guys can see. So these are 1-inch lines. I'm gonna just make it just a little bit smaller than that by having them, so that way I also have sort of a baseline. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this way we don't have to count our spaces really. However, we do have to make sure that we do use the guidelines. So these are the guidelines. Guidelines here is 55 degrees. You don't have to use a 55-degree line. You could use whatever basic line you want to. However, this is really helpful for doing guided practice. So here is our baseline. Okay, and here is our top. Okay, so when we make our A's, we're going to do it a little bit smaller. We're going to start at the second ascender, first ascender, X height, quarter. Start at the second ascender, loop all the way back up, down, and out. A B, C, D, E, F, F goes above the header, G, H, excuse me, that one snuck up on me, I, J, K, L, I don't make the straightest lines, sorry. Uh-oh, okay. M, so we're gonna go up, over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down, and out. N is the same. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, P, W, X, Y, C. And there we have the cursive alphabet done on the copperplate graph pad from johnneilbooks.com. It really helps if the finer the pen. I've done this with a 0.35 millimeter pen, and that works probably the best for doing very small writing. If you wanted to have this, you could do it like this. You could do one space down. I, J, K, L, M, oops, and Okay, and then if you went half that again, and then if you wanted to have it again, oh god, okay. So you can definitely see when you start big, you can actually start to minimize how big the spaces are and make them look very similar. Then when we start getting into the minuscule letters, it starts to get ridiculous, a very small size. So even the minuscule letters look almost capital like because they're just so small. Millimeter scale for rule, millimeter ruler for scale. It's like the whole K is only like 3 or 4 millimeters big. So you can get crazy small with your writing. Like, I don't even know any pens that go that small. And by pens, I mean like fountain pens. Maybe an extra fine Falcon, but like it gets crazy small. And then there's Rhodia dot pad. If you have Rhodia dot pad, you know it's 5 millimeter rule, which is nice. I am going to use my ballpoint. So let's see, we have. I'm going to mark off some lines because. Okay, so these are 5 millimeter dot rules. I'm using a 10 millimeter space. This is probably one of the best papers to practice on. After you start getting into it, it's just everything starts flowing together. After you practice a while, you're like, I'm getting into the groove of this. This is like really nice. I'm going to make mine just a little bit bigger. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, moving forward. The next one that I have, for example, is the Fabriano Esperia paper. This one has even a smaller grid than the Rhodia. So we're writing even smaller than we should. So I'm going to switch from this pen to my very extra fine pen. This is a Muji 0.35 millimeter rule. Okay, I'm going to mark off some guidelines. I'm going to do 2 millimeters, 2 spaces. The best advice I can give anyone is just practice. Practice at different spaces, different papers, different places in your house to practice your cursive writing, because there's going to be a point where you're going to have to go into a bank or something and you're going to have to sign something, and this is the basic way of how to do that. And all of our signatures are going to be different. But I encourage everyone to always practice cursive writing. It's a really good, simple way to get people into the feeling of the beginnings of cursive and calligraphy writing. So, and once you get smaller, things go a little bit faster because you don't have as much room to move about. Oops. Oh, my writing is getting really wiggly. I think the coffee's kicking in. Where's T-U? What am I doing? there we have it. Okay, so let's take a look at how we have come along. Let me see. These are not going. There we go. So we can see that by using a different writing, different papers, that we can get a totally different look than from each other. Okay. Sorry, scrap paper. So, I highly encourage everyone to go out and try cursive writing on different papers. It's a lot of fun, and you can get a lot of very interesting, differentiating looking writing depending on how big or how small you write. And then the last one, this is a really cool notebook because it uses a very funny looking, a very interesting, I'll say, looking grid. It has two black lines, and then a red line, and then another black line. So I don't know why it has this. There's no explanation in the book of why or how you're supposed to use this. Nothing. So I'm just kind of winging it right now. So I'm going to use my very extra fine pen because I think this is going to be like the smallest writing that we're going to have. So, Alexa, stop. Oh, it's time to take my medicine. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Okay, that's better. Okay, so you can use the 2, or you can use the whole thing, which is 3 spaces tall, or you could even do like a 2 spaces tall, or even like a 1 space tall. What am I doing? And it really gives it a different kind of look. So this is for like itty bitty teeny weeny writing. I don't know why anybody would want to write that small, Hobonichi. But if you are a tiny writer, let me know in the comment section. So I'm going to make a big B, a medium-sized B, and a little bitty B. So cute and small. C, 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 D, 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 E, E, So little. Let me just zoom in so we can see a little bit closer. I got F. F. And G. 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 So little. Ruler for scale. These lines are like 2 millimeters big. Super little. H. 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 I. J. 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 And you want to try to make the descender the proportional to its ascender. K. 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 L. 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 M. M. N. 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 O. 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 P. 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 Q. 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 R. 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 S. S. T. 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 U. 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 V. V. E. W. 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 X. 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 Y. And Z. Z. So there we have it. It's probably the teeny weeniest one that we're going to have. And then if we do all of the lowercase letters, and there we have it. Itty bittiest letters. So let me know what kind of paper you guys use in order to practice your cursive writing. Let me know in the comments section below. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe. Ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all, so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. I want to give a huge shout out to my members: Cynthia, Rahul, Wolf Kit Witch, Artboy, Vermilion, T, Simply Obs, Ladette, and Wobble Bumblebee. If you'd like to become a member, you can do so for as low as 99 cents a month. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description to my website, join the calligraphy class, check out the paper reviews page, join the Discord, and if you'd like to save 10% off on your next order to Pen Boutique or Atlas Stationers, I am an affiliate. When you use my link, you get a discount, and I get a small commission so that I can make better content for all of you. And that just leaves me to say, get out there and enjoy your life, be with the people you love, tell them you love them. And I love you to pieces. Have a great day. Okay, love you. Bye.